Hey kids.
Oh, oops.
There we go.
Sorry, my camera's a bit.
Sport color here. Campbell. Just doing a little bit of totally professional adjustments right now. The chair just popped up out of the base. There we go. Back down. Everything's okay. Everything's under control. It's a professional show, kids.
A professional.
How you doing, everybody? How are you doing, Campbell?
I'm doing good.
Yeah? How's your... Like... There you go. In focus. Cool. All right.
So
what are we doing here?
Huh?
What are we doing here, man?
We are working on stock analysis and working on just a stock bot that sells and buys whenever it makes sense.
What happened last time?
Last time, we kind of added to this tool. We got it so that it would distribute based on how it would change the space between the dots on the x-axis, depending on how much time is in between them, and so that it would update if the point went up that much, like that.
Yeah, so we're getting live data for Bitcoin.
Yes.
It just jumped in price right
did.
there. And basically we're looking at the differences in Ys over the entire span that we have. And we're saying, okay, we're going to put all the points in a fixed space. But we're going to kind of compress it if it gets too high or gets too low. We'll keep compressing the area that's changed since you've been watching it. And we do the same with the width. The width is always going to fit into the same amount. So that one on the left is the first tick we got.
Mm-hmm. And then this is the one on the right is the latest.
It's the latest. Yeah. And so what we're going to work on today is we're going to work on visualizing this, making this a little bit easier. There's two things that are on my mind that I want to do. One of them is I want to kind of add more depth to this chart. When the price goes up, I want to have the line be in blue, and when the price goes down, I want the line to be in red. I want the lines to change color based on what's happening. Similarly, these red dots are big and there's a lot of saturation. I want them to become semi-opaque, meaning a little bit transparent.
Or semi-transparent.
Yeah, either way, I'm good with that. And I want similarly the dot to show what's changed, whether it has gone up or down. And so that's what I'm looking for. I don't know, what are you thinking? Any thoughts on those changes?
Yeah, maybe if it hasn't changed like enough that it makes, like if it goes from this dot to this dot, maybe we make the newest dot like green or a different color because it barely changed at all.
If it doesn't change at all, maybe keep it purple. So right between red and blue. Like we could do that.
The thing is, it never doesn't change at all. It just changes ever so slightly so that the dot doesn't move at all on the screen because its change is like less than a pixel's worth of it.
Its change is less than a pixel. I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah, we can get to a point where there's so much data in here that it slows down WPF, for example.
That happened a little bit ago.
Yeah, so it only takes like watching it for about 20 minutes or something like that before we get like about 5,000 nodes in here, and WPF is like, seriously, dude?
Yeah.
5,000 nodes you're gonna make me draw?
And then when they try to draw a new dot, it has to adjust all of the other ones before.
Yeah, right. Every time a new one comes in, we're adding. So it's eventually going to slow down and crash, I guess is the truth about this graph. So we kind of want to maybe make it, last a little bit longer and one of the ways to do that is to take a portion and draw a portion of the data.
Oop. Like maybe we draw from here to the last point and we stretch that out.
Yeah, we could also, the important points are the points where it hasn't changed from the previous. right? The important points to keep are the ones where it changes dramatically before or after.
Uh-huh.
Those are the corner points here,
Yeah.
right? If it changes before or after, that's a point that we can keep, and if it doesn't, in between, we can actually just get rid of those. Like all these straight lines across here, those are relatively the same.
Yeah.
All the horizontal straight lines, I mean.
Yes.
So we
Or
could,
so similar that it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
yeah. So right up above my finger, that group right there, we can just get rid of all of those. That could be a way that we could optimize that.
Yeah.
So makes sense, yeah. So and there's some that have like a few changes. Like if you look at right over there, kind of that first step, kind of goes across,
Uh-huh.
and then it kind of
Down.
goes up and then down and then up. That little step right there, it's coming over towards my finger now. That little
I
step
see.
has got a little bump in it.
Yeah.
Little bump. The other thing that we want to do, the second thing that we want to do for visualization is give you a sense of what is your Y scale. What are we looking at? Right? How much of it? I actually have an idea for how we're going to show that. Here, let me actually show you what that idea is going to look like. We'll kind of spec it out. I'm going to start up my favorite programming spec application, PowerPoint, on my machine. We'll switch over to my machine here. I took a screenshot. Well, I thought I did. Let's try again. One more time here. Let's grab the app on your side, take a screenshot, come back over here. Come on, are you kidding me? Why is the screenshot not working? Alt, print screen, I'm clearly hitting that. One more time. There it is, okay. Thought I was hitting it, must have not have been. Okay, so here's what the UI looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? Now, here's what I'm imagining it's gonna look like. We're gonna put a box down here in the bottom left. A box down over here. Like this at the bottom left of the screen. And inside the box, we're going to put that which we see here. But we're going to change it so it gives you a fuller representation of the entire scale of from 0 all the way to the peak, whatever that peak is. That makes sense? So what'll happen is this will look like I'm playing with something like this. Actually, I shouldn't go too many steps to get out here to change that color. All right, so I'm playing with something like this right here.
So, yeah, that's 0 at the bottom. And
Yeah, so you could see, oh, even though we're seeing this big jump here, what we're really seeing is this area over here. And maybe a focus rectangle here so we can kind of get a sense of what's going on. So that focus rectangle would maybe look like that.
Or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, some sort of highlighting in it like that so we could see, here's what we're dealing with. Nope. We need a full-on outline. We need some kind of outline, maybe like that. I don't know, something. I'm playing with that. I'm playing with that kind of of a look there. So we get a sense overall, what is our scale, top to bottom? What you're about?
No, I'm saying yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I thought you weren't excited about it.
No. No.
Okay. All right. So so we'll call this stock visualization. Got. Switch back over to Campbell's machine. All right. So here's where it is right now. I think first step is let's clean up these red. These red dots are too big for me. Okay? You with me so far?
Uh-huh.
They're too big. Let's clean that up. Where are we adding them? Here. So right here is where we add the dot. We throw a breakpoint right here. We do two things. Dot diameter is 10. Looks like that's a constant up at the top. Yeah, I'm just going to kill the app. All right, I'm going to drop that. I'm going to cut that down to 5, maybe 6. Okay, so there's my dot diameter.
What was it before?
10. So it's about half. Then I'm going to go into colors, and I'm going to change this to something that's half opaque. And I'm going to make it purple. Okay?
Wait, can I have control of the mouse for a sec?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we make it a bit less saturated, so it's like here, maybe?
Sure. That's totally fine. By reducing the opacity, you're actually reducing the
Yeah, it's the same thing, but...
You're actually reducing saturation as well. But get it to where you like it? All right, good. Let's just run that and see that change. Clear the breakpoint.
Why is it ARGB?
From alpha, red, green, and blue.
Oh, alpha,
Okay, good. Dots are small.
yes.
Make the line smaller. All right. Let's do it. One more thing. Add dot. Do we have the last Y? We do. Check it out. We got the last Y. We need that to draw the lines. So because that's the case, let's pass in last Y in here. Last Y is initialized to min value. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, instead of this right here, I'm going to extract this into its own method, call it get fill color. And I'm going to pass in last Y. Whoops, let's add a parameter. Last Y, like that. And then I want you to hit the code rush key and choose add parameter again. Actually, go back. Hit escape first to get back to that marker. See the marker right above my finger?
Yes.
Hit escape to get back there.
Oh, wrong thing.
And now move to the right of that. So we're going to pass in last Y and Y. So it's going to compare the two to see if we've gone up or down. Okay, so there's a caret to the right. I don't see the caret anymore. Oh, it looks like, oh, add parameter. If you move the caret to the right place, you can choose add parameter.
Here?
Yeah, to the end of it. Yeah, because I want it after this. Because we're going to do the before and after, so it makes sense last Y is the first one we put in. And then go ahead and do
Just
Y.
Y, right?
Just Y. Good. Good. Now, inside here, we're going to do a check. We're going to basically say, hey, look, if last Y is equal to min value, that's what we initialized it to. That means it's the first point we put in. Okay?
Yeah.
Then we're going to return this color. And we might also say, or if last Y is essentially equal to Y. If it's equal to, it's the same Y value, then we're going to do this. And we might also check to see if it's close. And how do we tell if two numbers are close? Like that. How do we tell if two numbers are close to each other?
We do subtraction.
Yeah, you can kind of do subtraction if you knew what the scale was. So if you knew a stock was only going to go between $0 and $10, you might say subtract and see if the result is less than $9, right? Well, we definitely need to get the difference between the two, but we need to get the difference in terms of whatever is the highest of the two, I think. So just to be clear, we're going to say, we'll create a new variable here called difference.
Oh.
And we're going to say that's equal to 1 minus the other. Doesn't matter which one. Okay? 1 minus the other. And then what we'll do also in here is we will do a call to math.abs. So we're just going to make sure we get a positive number. Okay? That represents how far apart they are. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Then we're going to say, do something that says, Well, we can do this too. We can actually do a first check to say, hey, you know what? At this point, look, if difference is equal to 0, then we're going to return true. You with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we want to say, we want another variable called greatest largest value. Make sense? That name, and we're going to call math dot, whichever one is the biggest, max. We're going to pass in last y and y. With me so far on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my largest value. And then if largest value is equal to 0, well, we're kind of, kind of in trouble. So we're going to come in here and say return false.
Just so.
I'm going to say probably we're not close at all. Or why not? Maybe I'll say true, because if they're close, I'm going to make it in purple. So if we're at 0, whatever. Okay, now, at this point, I've got a non-zero largest value and a difference. So now I can figure out my percentage. What's the equation for my percentage?
It's the divided by 0. It's whatever you want divided by 100, not 0.
No, it's not. Whenever I want my percentage of something, it's the portion divided by the whole. I've got two variables, difference and largest value. Which one of those is the portion and which one is the whole?
Difference is the portion.
There you go.
Largest
Difference.
value is the whole.
Right, exactly. Largest value. That's right. So remember that. Whenever I need a percentage, it's the portion divided by the whole.
Yes.
Always. So if I have a pie and I take one slice of pie and the question is what percentage did I eat? It's my pie portion divided by the whole.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's 1/8 if it was in 8 slices. Does that make sense?
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so that's my percent close. Now that I have it in percent close, I can say, well, hey, if percent close is less than like 3, well, it's going to be 0.3, 0.03. That makes sense? That's 3%. Okay, if it's less than 0.03%, then, and when I say percent close, this is going to be a number between 0 and 1. It should be somewhere in this range.
Yeah.
It can't be over greater than 1. It can't be less than 0 because we ensure that the difference here is positive because of that. So if percent close, then we're going to say return true, and otherwise we're going to say return false. Okay, they're not close. Okay. So
Yes.
now we've got something. Hey, if it's close, so get fill color checks to see if we're close, and if we are, we go with purple. But if we're not close, we're going to check. We're going to say, hey, if last y is less than y, what does that mean, Campbell?
Wait. If that means that it's gone up, then we make it.
Price has gone up, so we're going to make this blue. Okay? Cool with that? Are you cool with that color?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. We could make it less opaque. We could make it, because it's gone up, we could make it less opaque. Like maybe there.
You mean less transparent?
Yes.
More opaque.
That's exactly what I meant. We don't have to. If that's not the case, then what we can do is we know we need to send out a red, because red means it's dropped in price. Okay? So that's my get fill color. Those are for the dots. We're not doing the lines yet, just doing the dots. Let's run it and test it. Okay? So the first dot should be purple, I think. Yeah, over on the left, it's purple. Now that big blue thick line is starting to bug me.
Yeah.
But there, you can see,
No, we
why is
messed
that
it up.
red?
It's red.
We totally get it wrong. We got the logic totally reversed.
Really?
How is that possible? Hold on. How did we get that wrong?
Maybe we shouldn't make it 3%. Maybe it's like one. Just
Are we
1%.
passing the wrong values in here? Get less color. The problem is close. From my ticket, what I'm not understanding is what's going on here. Last y, add dot, last y, double y. Yeah, y is the new one. Last one is there. What's wrong with the logic? I don't understand this. If last y is less than Y.
That means it's gone up.
I don't get it.
Maybe try making it just else return color. Oh no, because then on not all values.
Doesn't matter.
Has return a value.
We're seeing blues and
It
we're
shouldn't matter,
seeing
but
reds. Let me go look at it one more time. I just want to double check that that's real. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to do actually two more things. I'm going to make that line,
the blue one
the
smaller.
thickness, one pixel.
And maybe make it less opaque.
You betcha. We're totally going to do that. Just like that. We'll make the line be, well, you know what? You can just come in here and say get fill color again. Get fill color like that. Last Y. And Y. And one other thing I want to do, I want to pass in the opacity. I'm going to add a parameter here. And so here, for the line, we'll go ahead and make it fully opaque. Call this opacity. Like that. And where are we? We're right here. This opacity is going to be like 130, 128. So about halfway through. Okay? And then we're going to use opacity here. You with me on this change?
Yes.
You understand it?
I
Okay.
understand.
So let's run it again. Let's see what's going on. It looks like opacity needs to be a double inside there for it to be happy. I'm just noticing these right here. Is that my problem? Oh no, it's a byte.
Oh right.
So TBY, BY is the abbreviation for byte. So TBY will get you a type of byte. Okay, so there's opacity there, get fill color, and I think everything's okay. Let's run it. All right, let's look carefully at this. What do we got? So all those are purple. That looks good.
Purple, blue.
Why
Nope.
is the line reversed? I'm clearly got a major malfunction in terms of what I'm thinking is happening in my brain versus what's happening in the code.
No.
Like when you said, here's what I think it is, I was totally in agreement with you.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm waiting for a line to go up to see it in red. Yeah, it's totally wrong.
What?
And the dots are wrong. Well, we could just reverse the logic.
I was about to say we could reverse the logic, but I want to figure out why it's not working.
It would be nice to understand it, wouldn't it? Wait. I know why. I think I know why. Because this Y is measured from the top, not the bottom. Its zero is at the top. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here, that's why it needs to be switched.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay, let's set a breakpoint here because we're still running, I think. Is that right or not? Looks like we're running. I don't see anybody calling get little caller yet though. All right, let's just restart it. All right, so this should now have the new look. So with just a little bit of code, we've got this thing so it's, I think, easier to read. Let's watch it for a little bit and see
Purple,
if anybody
blue,
comments
purple.
on it.
Yeah.
So if it goes up, it's in blue. If it drops, it's in red. So that's cool, because on that line right above my finger right there, that looked almost horizontal. But we can now clearly see it's dropping. Yeah, that one right there.
That's great. I think maybe that the blue is a bit too close to the purple in color.
Okay. Let's change it a little bit.
That's
Let's make it a little teal. You can do that right now. You should be able to set a breakpoint right here. We didn't see it hit before. There we go. There it's hit. So now, the frame ARGB, now because this has got a variable in it, CodeRush can't give you a preview, but if we just for a second change it to like 128, CodeRush will give you a preview and then you can click on it. And then you can kind of move it a little bit up to teal, like in this space here. You can also well, we'll just do that.
Yeah.
Let's start with that. And then come back in here now and replace
Make it opacity.
with the word opacity. Clear the breakpoint and run it. Try it. Switch to the app, see how it looks now.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, you like that?
It's more distinct.
Here's the thing though, it's lighter in contrast against the background. I actually want it darker in contrast. I would almost say that because it's a more important line, so we need it somehow darker, I think.
Okay.
Before, when it was blue, the hue itself was kind of already dark. But I think we're going to need to, yeah, we need more contrast. Like, let's try that. Change it back to opacity there.
Oh, oops.
Good. Clear the breakpoint and run.
Shift F5.
And then can you?
Oh, it stopped it.
Oh, it stopped. Oh, Shift F5 stops it. F5
Oh,
runs it.
okay, sorry.
All right, let's see how it looks now.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so now you've got high contrast line going up. You've got kind of a lower contrast if there's not many changes. We've still got a lot of dots coming in there. We could do this too. We could say, hey, look, when we get a new dot in, so if we stop this, you kind of just, there's no way to pause this, but look at these 3 dots here. See these 3?
Yeah.
If we get a new dot in and we check to see it, we could look at the last 2 before it. If the last 2 before it are the same, then we can remove the one right there. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right now it's telling you, it's giving you a sense of when the trades are occurring, but if we're just interested in change of price, we don't need all of these dots.
No, not at all.
So that could save us. So what we'll do is when we get a new one in, we'll look at the last 3. We'll look at it plus the last 2. Mm-hmm. And if the last 2 are the same, close, and it is as well, we'll take away the second to the last one. This one right here. Okay? We can maybe do that now while it's running. There's add dot here. Stock data points. Where are we adding this?
So we would just
Here.
need to say,
So this is where add stock position comes in. So we would need to say what? What would you?
we would basically need to say, hey, if the past 3, if the newest dot and the 2 before it are purple, then change it.
Yeah. So we haven't added it yet here. Not at that. Well, we won't know that they're purple. We just know their price.
Yeah.
But we can do this. If stock data, so we got stock data points here. We say if stock data points dot count is greater than or equal to 3. That means greater than or equal to 2. That means we have enough to look at. Okay? And so now what we want to do is this. We want to say, hey, if, well, let's do this. Let's create an integer called last index is equal to stock data points. Remember, this is like an array kind of thing. Stock data points dot count -1. So I use -1 to index the last one.
Yeah.
In it, right? So that means stock data points of last index is the last one, okay? And that's going to be, let's declare a new local. We'll call this our last point. Let's duplicate the line and we'll call this our second to last point. And that's going to be what here? What goes in here? Not last index, but something before it. It's going to be expression with last index.
Oh. So it's last index minus minus the current index, or the,
That's incorrect. It's going to be a number. So if this is my last point, the one just before it, so say this is 9.
minus just last point then.
The last,
No,
the one
last
before it needs to be 8. So 9 minus what is 8?
1.
Yeah.
But why?
Why is 9 minus 8 1?
No, why do we have to get down 1?
We need to, because we need to get the second to last point. We need to get the last 2 points that we just compare their y values.
Okay.
The 2 points we've just added. So now what we want to do is we want to say, okay, look, if last point dot tick dot last trade rate. If that's close to, I think I have that is close somewhere, right? I don't. Oh, it's over here. Okay. We'll just say if the price is the same. So we'll just do that. So if that price is equal to that price, see that? So now we've just checked, whoops, if the last point is equal to the second to the last point. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay? Then we're going to do one more check and say, well, hey, if the last one is also equal to the current one coming in, equal to data, which is data, see it right there?
Uh-huh.
Right? So if it's equal to data dot tick, no, dot just simply last trade rate is what it's called. So if that's the case, then last 2 points plus this one are the same. We can remove the middle point, which is what? Which variable represents the middle point?
Last point.
Right. And so that's stock points of last index, right? The last one, which means we could actually come in and say stock data points dot remove at and pass it last index.
Okay.
Okay? So that I think is the logic. Let's run it and now let's see what happens. We should no longer see data that looks like this.
No.
And it's only going to affect what comes in. I'm not sure if we've blocked it long enough to, I'm not seeing any new data. Let's restart it. So remember this, let's restart it and we should see those kinds of things go away. So I think what happened is I had it, because we were listening to something on the internet. Yeah, look, see what's happening? There are no middle points. That's perfect. So that's one way to reduce the total number of points. You could also say, well, is it close, right? You could add some code to see if it's close, but I'm actually cool with this.
But we already have that code, so we just used it.
Right, it's in a different place, so we'd have to consolidate it, but this is feeling and looking really good to me.
Yeah. Another thing we could do that I don't think is worth it, because it's a rare occurrence that I haven't quite seen yet, but if we had a dot that was here and the angle was the same for both from here, from this line to this line and this line to that line from there, we could remove the middle dot.
Sure.
Or same thing when it's going down.
Sure, I
We
like
don't have
this.
to.
I think this is pretty good.
It looks much cleaner, and the code has to do less.
I think it's easier to read. Okay. Next. We should maybe, well, there's a couple things we got that we can do. One is we move the mouse around. When we move and we get kind of close to something, the price at the top, I think, changes.
It does.
There it is right there. So if I move over here, the price changes as we get close. What I really want to do is I want to highlight this in a more visual way. I want to put that information,
like right where the mouse is.
yeah, just so you're clear. I'm talking about the title bar right up there. Notice as I move it,
I know.
right there. But I'm pointing it out because it was blocked by the code rush thing. We had to undock it so you could see that. Pudding's here. Kids go. Oh, you got me, Pudding. It's kids code. So let's make it so we can now see things a little bit better. Okay, I would like to be able to do that. So let's stop in a second. I want to see what's going on with our mouse moves, how we're handling that. See this main mouse move. That's in the canvas. Make sure this works. Draw a line behind the mouse. I think over here, I've got one canvas that's on CVS main, and its height is right there. I'm gonna make its height a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna duplicate it. And I'm gonna create another one on top of it called CVS Adornments. And this is where we're gonna draw things on top of it. Okay? Does that make sense? And
Yeah.
I'm gonna take, I think this mouse move, I'm gonna get rid of that. And I think, to be honest, I think I want to get rid of this here. Well, you know what, let's not do that yet. So adornments is where we're gonna put other things on top of it. And because it comes after it, its Z order is higher, which means it's gonna be placed on top of it. So just as a test, I should be able to come in here and create a new ellipse like this and set its fill to like maybe not Alice Blue, but maybe something just so we're like totally, like you can see what I'm talking about here. We'll set its width to 10 and its height to 10 like that. Where is it? I'm not seeing it. Oh, look at this. It's down below. Oh, because I'm in a stack panel. I see. So these two, I want to overlay them on top of each other. The best way maybe to do that is with a grid. Like that. And we'll make the grid 500 by, or sorry, I went by 1900. So I've got the grid. I can now put them both in there as children of the grid. Now we should see the we should see this somewhere. Let's make this 900 for now. Why don't I see the ellipse? It's not even selecting it. Where are you, ellipse? There you are. See it right there? Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's the ellipse. Let's make it bigger. Okay, so now if we run it, we should see that ellipse staying on top of any points that come behind it. So watch when this starts to get down in this space here. We should see it drawn right behind it and the ellipse on top. Great.
Wait, can I have the mouse for a sec? I just want to full screen.
So there you can see a little bit of what's being drawn over it up there.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, so that's on top. So now what I want to do is, now that I've got one canvas on top of another, I'm going to use my adornments for drawing things on top, is what I'm going to do. So I want to create a line in my mouse move. Okay, I want to show that is what I want to do. Here's add line right here. This adds it to this one, but this is really, this, I'm going to extract it into its own method. I'm going to call this create line. Okay? And then we're going to call create line and then add it to in the mouse move right here. So somewhere in here, ooh, so that says Campbell, Mark, Fred. Fred's not here. Fred's not here, buddy. Easterly Dev, welcome.
We're just working on the stock analysis tool.
We're working on the stock analysis tool. That's what we're doing.
Visualizing data.
So we're drawing lines right now. We're going to draw a line behind the mouse is what we're going to do. So what we need a line of code that's kind of like this, but instead of CVS main, we're going to go to CVS adornments and add it there. Okay? We don't need insert, we're going to call add. There's the line. Now, the X position, well, we're getting that from this call to get position. Get position in the mouse move. So see this mouse move right here?
Yeah.
It calls e.getPosition. E is the event arg that it hands it. So getPosition is a helper method inside this parameter that gets the position relative to the input. And the input is going to be CBS adornments. We just want to make sure we know where we are there. So now that's going to give us our position. That means from our position, we can come in and say X. There's our X. Now we're going to draw a line from top to bottom. Top is 0. Bottom is going to be, here's the 0 for the top. The bottom is going to be this dot actual height, I think. It tells me how tall it is. And this, I want a straight up and down line. So this is my X and Y for the top. This is my X and Y for the bottom. So the question is, what goes in for my X here if I want it to be a straight up and down line? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Well, let's try this. Let's just try like 400 and see what happens. Now, if I don't delete the line, if I don't clear it, we'll draw a whole bunch of lines. Let's just run it and watch. Every time I move the mouse, if that mouse move is being triggered, we should see lines. We're not seeing, oh, there we go.
Oh, we're seeing lines.
We see them, but only when we move over the elements. See that?
Yeah.
And it's wherever the, okay.
Wait, can I, sorry, I just want to full screen this. Yeah, that's...
So we're just adding a bunch of lines. We want to delete the lines. We want the line to be straight up and down.
Yeah.
Okay?
Not just from here.
Yeah. So, let's figure that out.
Okay.
All right. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to children.remove. Or clear all. Clear.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll delete all the children.
And then once we make a new line, it's...
So now we're going to only have one line when we do it. But there's another problem. When we have a mouse move on a canvas, it only fires when we move over an element in the canvas.
Yeah.
So I don't actually want this here. I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to come up here into the main window. And I'm going to hook an event called preview mouse down, well, mouse move. And I'm just going to paste that in right there. Okay? We can rename this. This is no longer, doesn't make any sense here for it to be CBS main mouse move. This is now just going to be main window preview mouse move. Okay, so we're still going from X, Y is 0 to 400 CBS Dormant's actual height.
So for the new X, we would need...
Let's try height
Oh, just
instead.
wherever the mouse is.
Oh, there you go. Which is represented by position.x.
Position.x.
Right, let's try this. We're creating a line. We're saying create line. We're calling get fill color on it. So the get fill color is going to be, it's going to actually have the wrong color on it. So I'm going to take this out. I don't want to actually set the stroke color there. And then we're going to go to the two different places. Add line. We're going to take that line we copied and put that there. And then out here, we're going to give it something different. So stroke color here, I want to make it gray. So if we do colors dot, I don't know, red, can you turn that into gray for me?
Yep.
And then I want to make it a dashed line.
How gray, right? More white or more black?
I think more white. We can take a look at it and see how much contrast.
Like that?
Sure. Try.
Opaque it, or how opaque?
Yeah, whatever. You decide. A little bit transparent. That's fine. Perfect. Okay, run it. And now let's see, does the line follow the mouse?
Oh, yeah.
What is happening there?
It's not quite straight up and down. But it,
How did that actually happen?
And
I'm curious about the
the
code.
bottom of the line is moving.
What'd you say?
The bottom of the line is moving. Oh, whoa, wait.
It looks like its bottom X is staying the same.
Really?
Close it down. Let's see what's
No,
going on.
no, maybe. Whoa, okay. Oh, it's moving around in a circle?
Looks like we got a Y position wrong. What it's doing is it's just, the X is always the same, up and down, for the bottom line. Let's go look at our code. Maybe we got an X and Y reverse.
It totally doesn't look like it, though.
Let's look at the code. Let's look at the code.
Right. Because we go from position...
Let's look at the code.
I don't understand.
Hold on. Create line. It's got last X, last Y. Whoa! Takes a Y, then an X in create line?
We should probably change that.
All right.
Whoops.
So we're going to hit the code key. Here, you do it. Hit the code key, choose reorder parameters.
Insert.
Create line and double line both have this problem. All right, so we're going to swap
Cool.
that. Good.
That looks so cool.
Get X first, then Y, and then hit enter. No. Okay, there. There you go.
Sorry, this just looks so cool.
We just... Maybe we need to stop playing video games.
No, it
just
just
go back
looks...
to the code.
Okay.
Hit it.
Sorry.
Hit it, young man. Good. Do the same thing on add line above. See add line above?
Yeah.
Do the same thing there. Reorder those
Insert.
parameters.
Reorder parameters. Boop.
Good.
Enter.
Good. Next, go back to here. Now we got to take our position X and manually switch it here because we thought it was XY, but it's not. Now let's run it and see how it goes. Oh, we're actually running right now. So let's just keep it going. There's one with the edits. What's wrong with the edits? Oh yeah, I can't reorder while we're running. Anyway, let's restart it. Restarting. Better?
Much better.
Okay, good. Let's make it a dash line.
Still looks... No, that's not the case.
What's wrong?
It looked a bit tilted at first, but it's not.
I'm going to say it's not. All right, so to make a dash line, lines I think have a property called, it's not dash, is it? Ooh, look at this. Stroke dash array.
Stroke dash cap. Stroke dash offset.
And it's got an add. And it's just taking doubles. So I'm going to give it a value of 5. I'm going to try again, give it a value of 3. I think what this is I think the length of the first dash. This is this gap between it. Let's run that and see if that gives us a dash line. Aha! Yeah, see it? It's each length is 5 followed by 3. You could keep doing that so you could make a different pattern dash if you wanted to. Do you like those dashes or do you want to change it so they're like longer?
No, I think that's good.
You're good with that? Okay.
Yes.
So now we have this thing moving. Good. Next we want to find the closest dot to the mouse. The closest point to the mouse. And I want to highlight it. Okay? What's cool about, I just want to reiterate, what's cool about this, Campbell, is we've got on one canvas, we're just drawing. We're drawing the chart.
Constant.
And on the other canvas, we've got the adornments. And because they're in two different places, it's totally easy to just say, clear all the adornments.
Yeah.
Right? Clear all the adornments.
So now it's just easy to see, oh, this is not horizontal. Or not vertical.
Surly Dev says, Campbell, you should have seen the legacy version of CodeRush with all the cool visual effects and arrows pointing to the exit of functions, etc. It was so cool. Thanks, Surly Dev. Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes that happens. Your environment changes and you have to make compromises. That's what happened as we were moving forward. Visual Studio changed its engine, so we had to make some compromises, and we lost those things. All right.
Huh.
What's your thoughts?
That's weird. These two, this angle and this line, they look exactly the same, yet one is purple and one is blue. They're most definitely not exactly the same. Otherwise, they would both be purple or both blue.
Right, right. Well, it's close enough percentage-wise, is what I think is happening there. It's got to be more than a 3% jump, I think, or a 3% jump for it to be blue.
Yeah, so this is like probably close to 3. And this is probably like close to 3, but
you could change it, Campbell. You could just say, hey, we could change the code.
No.
So we can basically say, hey, you know what? Let's go.
That's not what I'm saying.
What'd you say?
That's not what I'm saying.
But we could. We could totally do that. In fact, we can do it right now while it's running, I think. While it's running, it's our call to is close. Right here. Get fill color. What we can do is set a breakpoint here and just say, you know what, if it's close, get rid of that. Like that. And then clear a breakpoint, and now if we go back and look at it, it's blue. See it?
Uh-huh.
And this is red. Oh, what's going on here though?
That's, we messed up the code. 3% is pretty much exactly what we want, I think.
If it's close, if last is equal to this, oh, I see what I need to do. Or, not is close, but we want to say last y is equal to y. Oops. Like that. Okay, try that now. There you go. So maybe that's better. That is close is maybe not so good anymore, but this is better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now if it's truly the same value, it'll be in purple, and if there's any change at all, it'll be in red.
Or if there's truly a change that we can measure using the
Sure.
decimal or double. Which
Sure,
one?
sure, sure.
Or using a decimal or a double?
Okay, so now when we're selecting, now we want to kind of get a hint
Wow, it's
based on where we are, which one of these we're closest to. Okay, let me take a screenshot of this. Switch back over to my machine here. Can you hit the button to switch to my machine?
Yep.
All right, so there's your screenshot there. We need to find, as we move the mouse, we need to find the point that's closest to it. Okay? So if this represents the point of my mouse, right there, and this represents, you know, a point out in space, how do I figure out the distance between these two?
Y or X?
I want to know,
Either way, subtraction.
I don't want y or x, I want the distance. I want that diagonal line.
Slope then. Wait, no, sorry. You don't want slope.
Slope doesn't give me distance.
Just the distance.
How do I figure out distance?
Oh, we're gonna need to use Pythagorean's theorem.
Right, we need Pythagorean's theorem to do it.
So we figure out the distance in X and the distance
Yeah.
in Y.
Hold on a second, there's an exception on your machine.
Oh.
Collection was modified. Enumeration operation may not continue. Okay, so here's what's going on. Oh, look at this. We've got get nearest point right here. What's going on here? Oh, this one we're just actually subtracting, just finding nearest point in time.
Yeah, just
Is
on
what's happening here.
X-axis.
But what's going on is we're looking through stock data points, but it says stock data points was changed. Where was it changed? It was changed when we removed a duplicate entry.
Huh?
Right here, that code we added at the beginning of the show. Right there. We changed it. What's happening is this is happening in one thread, and the other is happening in another thread. So in one thread, I'm enumerating through the collection to see which point is closest, which is exactly kind of what we're talking about now. And in a different thread, we're adding a stock position, but we're seeing that it's got duplication, so we call remove add. Does that make sense? In one thread, we're changing something that we're looking at in another thread.
Yeah.
Okay? That is a bad thing. We have to lock the object when we make the change, so we don't interfere with what's happening on the other thread.
Yeah.
Okay? We have to lock it in both places. To lock an object, what I like to do is create a special class that's just an object. So I'll type in VO like this. Why don't you type it in there, VO, spacebar, and then, so there's your object, and now you're going to say stock. Basically, we're going to copy this guy, but we're going to add the word lock on the end. And I'm going to set it equal to a new object. It's just, well, all this does is give me just this unique thing that exists for my chart translator. Then,
Oh, yeah.
then, just before I call remove,
Why lock?
why did I add the word lock? Well, just before I'm going to use a function that you haven't seen before called lock. What lock does is it checks across all threads and makes sure nobody else has got a lock on that guy. And if nobody else has a lock on it, boom, we're going to call remove.
Okay.
Okay? Next, any other thing that accesses stock data points that needs to enumerate through it, we need to do the same lock code right above it.
Got it.
Okay? So here, for example, calculate bounds. We've got this enumeration on it, so we need to come in here and do a lock on that guy. And we're going to do it all the way, I think, to there. Put all that in a block. Okay? So we're going to lock that enumeration. Actually, wait, maybe I don't need to. No, here I'm just reading values at the bottom. I don't need it. Hold on. It's only, I only need to lock the for each. Because as long as I'm reading data, everything's okay. But if I'm making any changes to it, not good. Pretty sure that's true.
Okay.
So count, this line of code should still work. This, I'm just reading data from it. Here, I'm just reading data from it as well. Although this is going from count, there's a chance this could mess up here. This is the one where we're kind of, this will always be valid. That should be good. This one is problematic, I think. Let me do this. We'll do one more lock right up in here too. Lock. Call to count. Yeah, just for safety, I'm gonna throw that in there. Okay, so this is our mechanism for locking. Let's go keep going through. What do we see? Add stock position. There's our lock on the remove. Okay, and then now I want to see who's looking through this. This guy's looking through it. We need to do the same lock here. Okay, to get that, I'm going to take it, it's private in Chart Translator. I'm going to make it internal like that so we can see it from outside of it. So now when we get to our loop, here, I'm going to say lock. Oh, is that a that? That. What's happening here? What's my error? Around an active statement. Oh, okay. Because I'm running. Now what's my problem? Can I not lock using Chart Log Translator? We don't have it here. Is Chart Translator mainly?
Sorry. What are you doing right now?
Sorry, my bad. I thought we were in a different file. And we need the lock here. Okay. All right. All right, I think that's it. All right, so now we've got the lock in there. All right, let's go back over to my machine. Pick that up. Where are we going? We need Pythagorean's theorem for this, right? I really don't like how it snaps these to the edges of the circle. I think a lot of people may like that. I do not. All right, so we have a triangle. That's a right triangle.
Yeah.
What's this value right here?
It's where the mouse is minus where the dot is.
Sure, perfect.
Yeah, in
And
terms of the x-axis.
I'm going to call it delta x for right now. Okay? Which
Yeah,
is
it's
and
delta
what you
x.
said was exactly right.
And then delta y is the other one.
Right.
It's the same thing but on the y-axis.
Right, exactly. And so then we've got delta y over here. So we can figure out the closest point. Right? So let's go add the code that does that right now. So basically from any point we're going to get the closest point. So get nearest point is in chart translator. This I'm going to stop the app a second. And I'm going to rename this to get nearest point in time. Because that does one set of code. Next I want to do get nearest point do I even want this here? What if I use the dots instead? Let's put it over. I'm going to use the dots. What'd you say?
Oops, I just realized we were on the
Wrong screen?
Yeah.
Thanks so much for that. All right, yeah, let's use the dots instead to get the nearest point. So in our mouse move here, I want to find the nearest dot. Oh, also, see all of this code?
Mm-hmm.
What should I do with all of that?
Probably put it in a method or
Call it add line. Add, what is this? This is add dash line?
yes.
Maybe? It takes E, which are the event args, but we should be able to decompose that parameter. So no, I don't see decompose parameter in there. Oh, because we're calling get position on it. Okay, I'm good with that. All right, so there's my add dash line. Clearing it, add a dash line. What's going on here? Chart translator, get time from X, nearest point, get nearest point in time. Then we put this data up there, the last trait is what we do. That's currently what we're doing. We're finding the nearest point in time. What if we stored when we added a dot? What if we stored the actual trait value? What if we came into add dot and we added a parameter and we passed in the stock data point? And then inside the dot, we use the dot's tag property, which is just of type object, to hold on to the data point.
Ah.
Okay. Then, when we need to find the nearest dot, we go through the dots instead of the stock data, which I think is maybe a little bit better in terms of, allows us to change the stock data independently of the dots. I think
Yeah.
that might be a better way to do this. So in here, we might want to say, okay, instead of saying get nearest point in time, we're going to call get nearest point. And we're going to pass in our position dot x and our position y.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's work on that. So we got to go through all the CVS main children. So we cut that to clipboard. Type in FE space to create a for each loop. There you go. So its CVS main was on the clipboard. Each of its elements are called UI elements. So now I want to check to see, hey, is that an ellipse? Because I'm going to have some lines out here too. So if UI element is an ellipse, this means this is an ellipse or a descendant of an ellipse is the question. And now if it is, it will assign to a variable I'm calling ellipse that value. So if this is true, does that make sense? If UI element is an ellipse, then when we get down here, ellipse will be a thing I can work with. Now I can go to its tag and ask this question. Hey, if tag is a stock data point, then that's super cool. We can do something with it. We could basically say, well, let's return that stock data point. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. What we really want to do though is now that we know it's an ellipse is we want to get its x and y. So we're going to say something like this. X is equal to get x of ellipse. And then I'm going to do one for y as well. Let's go declare that. Whoops. I'm reusing this. Let's call this one x pose and this one y pose, like that, so I don't have conflict. See what was happening? I had x and y declared internally, so I had two variables with the same name. Now that I have that, I want to declare it. So this may be something you don't remember from last time, but if I have an object, and this doesn't have to be an ellipse, it can be anything. It's like a UI element, I think. If I have a UI element on a canvas, I can go to canvas's static method, get left, pass in the UI element, and that's going to be its x position because it's an attached property. So let me duplicate that, get y, and get y is going to return get top. Okay, so I'm now getting the x and the y. What do I need next? If I have point out, this is my mouse x and y. Let's change this actually, change it to mouse x and mouse y. What do I do next? I'm headed to here.
Oh, okay, right. I'm not sure how to, what elements.
Switch to my machine, what do we need?
No, sorry. I'm not sure how to, where the elements are to get delta x.
Okay, well
we don't have the mouse position.
We do have the mouse position, that's what's passed in. We have mouse x.
Right. Oh, and we already have
and
delta
mouse
x.
y passed
Pretty
in.
much. We just would need to implement it into this code.
Okay, so back to your machine. What do we do next? What comes here?
We take mouse x minus the nearest, or wait, no, because we're trying to find the nearest point, minus any point's position.
Mouse x minus what?
Minus, well, which y, or which point are we trying to figure it out from? All of them, right? Because we're looking at all of them.
See this line?
Mm-hmm.
We're going through each one at a time. Each one, we're checking to see is it an ellipse.
So then, we minus the UI element that we're currently on.
Not really. UI element's an ellipse. We can't subtract that ellipse from a number. We need its x position of this UI element, which is an ellipse.
Double the x.
Fortunately, we call get x right here, passing in ellipse.
X.
Yeah, like that. And we need to declare a new local for it. What are we going to call that?
What's it called? Delta x.
Good. Can you duplicate that line for me?
The y.
Change the right side so it's y minus y. Mouse y minus y.
Oop. Yeah.
That's an uppercase. Okay. Now, what's next?
Now we do delta x squared plus delta y squared.
Do it.
And then
Go.
we take the square root of that.
Go, go, go. Go, Campbell, go! So he said Gesundheit a while back. I think one of us sneezed to find a new. I think I sneezed.
Okay, so we take, what is it, SQR? No.
It's in math.
Yeah, math dot what? Pow. Math dot pow, and then it takes in, is it delta x and then 2?
Yep. If you're not sure, you can hit Control Shift Space. There it is right there. So,
Wait.
it says
Yeah.
Y is the power. See, Y specifies power.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh. Whoops. Delta y2, and then we want to take all of this and square root it.
So
So-
wait, let me give you a hint on this. For shortcut keys, go back to the end of the line where you were. Hit end. Now hit Shift Home. And now hit Shift 9 where the open paren is. It puts the caret on the left and
Oh, you
wraps
can
it
just
in
do
parens.
I didn't know you could. Oh, right, because we just need to.
Shift 9 puts the caret on the left when you're done. Shift 0 on a US keyboard puts it on the right.
Yeah.
Because those are the left and right parens.
Got it.
So now you can call math.square root here.
Dot square root dot SQRT.
Okay?
Yeah.
Got it. Hit enter. All right. So that expression is going to give you the distance. What are you going to do with that expression?
Well, we need to compare it to the next
If you need to
one.
compare it, you better put it in a variable then. Right? If you want to declare a
This is
variable,
just-
you got to be on an empty line. So I'm always thinking about what's my variable and I declare it first. So go, add an empty line here, or you can choose to declare local. That can get you out of the problem. All right, sweet. Good job.
And this is just the distance.
There you go. Sweet. Now we have the distance from the ellipse we're testing to the mouse. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Bear with me a second. We did something like this last time. Watch it. Watch this. We're going to come in here. We're going to create a double called closest distance so far. I'm going to set that equal to something really big. Double dot max value. Okay? I'm also going to create a variable called closest ellipse. And I'm going to set it equal to null. See what I did there?
Yeah. Oh, right.
What'd I do? I created two variables. You can just say it that way.
Yeah.
Daddy created two variables.
And, the closest distance so far will change depending on what the closest distance so far
Right,
is.
so what do you
So-
think the code looks like down here? Do you want to lead that? Do you want to look at that? What would that look like? We need to check to see if this distance is less than
Yeah.
the closest distance that we've collected so
So
far.
if closest distance. If that is less than. Right? No. If that's greater than. Distance.
Yep.
Then down here. Sorry,
Good
I
job.
like it better with braces. And it's helpful because we need more. Here we need to set the closest distance so far is equal to distance.
Okay, good. What about that closest ellipse? What are we going to do with that? Get your semicolon on the end of that line.
Semicolon. Now with closest ellipse.
Because we
It's
know the
going to
shortest
be-
distance, but we need to...
Wait, where's the element? UI element, right?
Line 156. See the variable I declared up there, closest ellipse? What
Yeah.
are we going to set that to?
To the UI element.
Yeah, not really. Try it. Go ahead and try it. And
Oh.
you're going to get an
Yeah,
error on it
I
because it's
see.
going to be like,
You can't do these two things. 'cause
yeah,
they're different.
it's going to be like you're trying to assign something
UI
that's not an
element to
ellipse
an ellipse.
to an ellipse.
Yeah.
But look at line 160.
Oh, just ellipse.
Right. That's the variable name that is of the right type. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Now we're going through and we're finding the closest one. We're going through the whole piece. This, by the way, here, we don't need this. That note for Pythagoras theorem, we can move that up. Hold on, let me put this, I want to put this actually outside of the for each. So down when we're finally done. We're finally done checking all of the checking all the points. Okay? So we need to do something down here. This got an error here. But don't worry about that for now because I just want to take this
Oh, right,
comment
because it's not in.
and move it up to here.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Or maybe even better, out here.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're noting what we're using. Okay. We're kind of close. I'll give you a return null here. You just gotta figure out what to replace that with. And this code will work.
Closest ellipse.
Yeah. There we go. Good. Okay. So that code goes through all the children on the main canvas, checks to see if I've got any circles, and if I do, I get the X and Y. One thing on this, right here, my get left, it's actually going to be the upper left, not the center of the dot. But I've got this dot radius, which is half of my dot diameter. So if that's the upper left, all I have to do is add the dot radius to get the actual center. Same thing here, okay? So I think that'll give us a little bit better results. And I think that's it. So get nearest point is there. Let's do this. If we're not null, well, right now, we're going to do that. Let's just do it and see what happens. We should be able to see, as we move around, we should see a better responsiveness on the title in terms of...
What the closest point is.
Yes. We don't have a visual indicator on it yet.
Nope.
Hold on. Closest ellipse. Oops. We didn't find any on the first time through.
There's no.
Which should I return if the closest ellipse is null?
No.
Yeah, so RN for return null. Right, so let's move back up here and now run it. Okay.
Wait.
All right, so now we have 2 points. They're both the same. There you go. Now you should be able to move between your 2 different points. And because we're using Pythagorean's theorem, look, if we're right in the middle, our time distance is the same between the both. But if I move up closer, if I'm here, look at this. If I'm closer to, before when we were here with the mouse, we would show this data.
Yes.
Because we're only looking at time, but now we're showing the one in the upper left. Now as I move down, we can see the price drop. See, 167 there, drops down to 42. Sorry kids, if you're watching online, let me go get rid of the Carbrush one. You can see it right up here again. We're at 31,967.
Wait.
Go ahead, Kimball.
It's this number right here.
Yeah, it's that number right there.
Anyway, so we can see it go from 31967, and then we move it down, and then it goes to 31942.
Yeah, 42. Overall, so far we're making progress on it. Next, what I want to do is I want to draw a circle around the point we're showing up there. Okay? All right. So let's go do that. Let's write that code to do that. Closest ellipse right now, get nearest point is doing this. It's grabbing the stock data point. What I think I want to change this to is, or maybe refactor. I want to go from here to here and pull this out and call this get closest ellipse. So I still like get nearest point, but now I've got this get closest ellipse. The reason this is really valuable is because once I've got the ellipse, I can get its x and y, and if I can get its x and y,
Oh, Oh.
I can now draw a new circle in the new place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
then we need to show the data somewhere that isn't in the top left where it's hard to see.
Right, exactly. So that's kind of where we're moving to. So instead of doing nearest point like this, I'm going to come in here and say get closest ellipse, pass in the same position X and Y to it, declare, not add a new parameter. I'm going to declare a new local for it, closest ellipse. If not null, then what I want to do is now I want to add my own child ellipse right around it, is what I want to do. So I'm going to call my getX that we created, passing in the closest ellipse, like that. And then I'm going to go from there to get the Y and the X. And now I'm going to say maybe something like this: add highlight circle, passing in X and Y. And we'll write that in a second. I'll still keep this code down here for now, but note that because the tag property has that stock data point, I could actually do this. Instead of doing that, I could say closest ellipse dot tag as stock data point, like that, because the tag holds the value. You tied them together. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so add highlight circle, let's declare that. In here, I want to come in and say, well, let's do a new ellipse, like this. Declare a local for it. There's my ellipse. I want to set its left and top, so I'm going to go into Canvas, call set left, and ellipse, comma, and I'm going to say X minus int underscore radius. And then I'm going to do the same thing here with top, using Y. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's make this, let's give it a no fill. I want to have no fill, but I want it to have a stroke. I want it to have a stroke, which is a brush. So that's equal to, and I think you created a template called NSB for new solid brush. Let's give me an outline color for that. Select a color for that. It's going to be
Probably darker.
doesn't matter for the first time. We just want something we can see, so it can't be white.
Yeah. Just black for now.
Okay, fine. So it's black. We need to give it a stroke thickness, I think. That's a property as well. Set that equal to maybe 2. And we need to set its height and width. And width. And let's create a new constant here. That's going to be called our diameter. Let's call it 20. We'll use diameter here and here. And sorry, it's not. And then we're going to also create a new constant called radius. And that's going to be equal to diameter divided by 2. Okay?
Okay.
Then I can use radius down here. It's not int.radius, it's our radius for our piece. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're creating a circle. I think that's all we need to do. It's going to be 20 big. It might be a little big. We can come back and adjust stroke thickness and color and things like that. But it should be centered around whatever point we're closest to with the mouse. You going to try that?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions on that?
No. Whoops.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
So we can kind of move this in here. Like that. Yeah, keep it going. Because where there are no points on here, that was a problem. I think the price has dropped since we've been doing the show.
Oh, no, it's...
So do we see it? I'm not seeing any drawn item. Oh, you know why we're not?
No.
We're adding it, but we're not adding it to the children of CBS adornments. We're creating it, but we're doing nothing with it. So let's do that. Let's move. Now that we've got it here, now I can come in and say this, children.add, and we'll add ellipse, like that to it. and then we'll clear our breakpoint and run. And now let's watch it. Go ahead, move. Move the mouse.
Yeah.
Good? Next, I think we need the hint coming up nearby.
Yeah.
Can I move the mouse around just to play with it?
Yeah.
So look at here. When I'm right in the middle, we might do something that says, well, you know what? You've got to be at least this far away. Like here would show maybe nothing. Does that make sense? Like what do I do if I'm right in here? The same kind of problem. I'm not close enough to it.
Yeah, because then you're constantly showing something.
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting. Only show it if you get close.
Maybe we put something that's generically close to every point. So here, can I have control of the mouse for a second? So maybe it's like right here, a box right here that says what what the data of that point is, that point you're closest to.
Baba Hassan subscribed. Thanks for that subscription, Baba Hassan. Okay, can we give it to me again?
So, there's like a box here, a text box or a text block that is...
Give it to the little one, says Baba Hassan.
That says what value that point is.
Yeah.
And maybe what time it was put down at.
Sure.
Maybe anything. And
yes.
And so it's constantly here showing. So it's not in the way of the data, but you don't have to move your eyes too far.
Okay. It's a way to do it. That is a way to do it for sure. Well, look at this. Look what's happening.
That's not good.
That's something we should fix. If you stop moving the mouse, it stops moving with the piece.
Yeah. So I bet if I update this at all, it's gonna, Huh. That is...
I'm thinking about how we want to fix that. To fix it, we're going to need to have an indicator for it, is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to say, this is the Okay, so are you, I feel like though I didn't get an answer from you on this. Do you like this behavior where I'm here? Or do you want to make it so it...
I think that no matter what, it should highlight the dot you're closest to.
Okay, then that's what it is, because that's what's going on.
And
all right.
and then just a piece of data below that is, it's not too far away from every point.
Okay, next piece we need to solve. Let's solve it so when I don't move the mouse, it continues to move.
That's...
So it's working kind of now, but I'm wondering if...
But once it goes past, I think.
No, I don't think that's it. I think it's because I'm using mouse without borders and my mouse is on your machine. I bet if I move it away and now you take over and stop moving the mouse, I bet that we'll see it duplicate. Stop moving the mouse a second.
I'm not.
Your hands off the mouse?
Yeah.
Oh. So it's like it's getting a mouse move.
But it's not updating. Oh, it is.
Okay.
Then what was happening before?
What'd you say?
What was happening before that made it do that?
I'm not sure. One way to solve this problem is to come in and say, you know what? Let's just force a call of this after we rebuild. So this right here is going to be, we'll call this add adornments. Like that. It needs a mouse event arg. Shoot. I think we're going to have to do some refactoring here. I just want to use... We are not, because we don't have the mouse event args when we draw the chart.
Oh, right.
So what it means is we need to pass in an X and a Y. I'm not liking that either. go back. Let's undo this. I think what I want to do is add a highlight circle. What's Surly Dev? Someone subbed. I acknowledged them. Baba Hassan. And Baba Hassan said, give it to the little one. They were totally acknowledged, Surly Dev. Thanks for that, though. Surly's like the best. Did you? Oh, sorry. No worries. Surly, you're the one who keeps me, like, you know, from messing up, man. Okay. So what I'm thinking is we use a variable to hold on to a highlight circle.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, we do this. We hold on to the closest ellipse. We don't make it a local, we make it a field variable. With it being a field variable, maybe not call it closest ellipse to mouse, maybe, like this. With it a field variable, if we got it from the last time, I know that ellipse. Hold on. I'm going to undo this too. Don't be afraid to go backwards, by the way, Campbell. I'm going back to here. We're back here. Preview mouse down. I'm going back to what I said before. Add adornments. I'm extracting this into its own method. Call it add adornments. I realize that I can change this mouse event args to something else. We just need we need the position coming in here. I think we're only using this for get position on it. Yeah. So if we can turn this into a parameter instead. So we're going to change that to passing in a position. And then add dash line is going to take that call instead. Okay. Now we're getting into a better place on this. Let's take this. Add dash line just returns the same position we pass in. Well, that's not needed either. Let's turn that into a void. Let's just get rid of that. Having no return statement, it just returns when it gets to that line of code. It's done. Let's do this. Like that. I'm putting this up at the top now. I'm going to pass in position here. So now I made no changes to the code except for refactoring. Okay? I'm going to take this out and call this add adornments. Okay? All it needs is a position, an X and Y position for the mouse. And I'm going to do this. Check this. I'm going to split this, and then I'm going to come in and say wide scope for remote to field, and I'm going to rename this to last mouse position. Like that. No. Okay. All right, hold on. I got to report a code rush issue here. All right, devs, this is not on my machine. It's on another machine that's attached to it, but where I got this issue in here. You'll have to roll back to see what we were doing. I think I did widen scope, promote to field is what I think I did. And then we're looking at some issues with JavaScript Code Rush platform options here. Take a look at the activity log. I'll get that to and attach it to you, to this for you. Let me see if I can't do that very quickly. Can I? that right there. All right, I'll get that to you right there. Okay. Hold on a second, Campbell. I need to report that issue. Let's put that there. Okay. Okay, so now we've got last mouse position here. And add adornments, and because we're saving it, now when we finally do our recreation of the chart, right here, draw graph, see that?
Yeah.
We can just add one more call at the end to add adornments every time we draw it. Okay? That now will solve the moving problem.
It wasn't. The thing is, it wasn't moving for a while, and then it was moving, and then it. Oh wait.
It wasn't reproducible.
No, we didn't do it again.
Yeah.
I don't know why it wasn't working.
Okay.
Okay.
But now it's working. Okay. Next, I want to see right up here.
Yeah.
I want to see what time we're at as we move. I want to do that. I want to figure that out. See if we can figure out the time. So there's a left and a right, and there's a distance between the two. So when we're talking about adding adornments, we can also add like a text box up here to it. So when we've got nearest point, we do this right here. Wait, no. Where's our add dash line? Here. Add dash line does this. See the position X? Right? So what we want to do is get the time. So we need something like this. Time is equal to get time from X. And we're going to pass in position.x. Okay? That's step one. Step two is we're going to create a new label. That's something I could drop on my form in XAML, but I'm doing it programmatically here. An ellipse is something I can drop on the form in XAML, but I'm doing it programmatically here.
Yeah.
A line is something I can drop on the form in XAML.
But you're doing it programmatically.
How did you know I was going to say that? So we're going to call this the time label, I think. Time label, like this, okay? And then we're going to come in and say, hey, time label dot text. I think, no, it's got something called content. Let's not use a label. Choose, well, no, let's go ahead and, I'm not sure. I like a text block instead. I'm going to do text block. Maybe call it time text block. I'm going to come down here and say time text block dot text is equal to, excuse me, sorry about that, kids. Try to mute, I think I got another one. Got loud even on Campbell's. There's a big sneeze, kids. So this text here, we'll make it an interpolated string, and we're going to use the time from here, or we could just say this. Time dot to, I think there's a to short time string. Or we could just call to string on it as well. It'll give us the long string. Okay, so now we've got this challenge right here. We got to get the time from the X position. Right?
Yeah.
Somewhere up here in draw a graph, we wrote this code last time.
Oh.
Where's that draw? There's draw a graph. We figure out our left and right It's from the chart translator. We got get stock position X. Aha. We need the reverse of this.
Right.
Get time.
Get stock return. Or what? No.
It has to do the opposite work across this point right here. So see this end and start? Total span across?
Yeah.
We still need that. Distance to point, that's kind of what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Total seconds across? Fine, we'll use that too. Seconds to point, we don't need that. Percent across, we do need that, but we aren't going to use this.
No. It's
Percent
different.
across is equal to we need to use X and chart width in pixels, and we need an operator right between them. What's the operator?
Oh. Divided by.
Right. X is the portion across. That's the whole. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of seconds to point, we need essentially pixels to point, I think is what we need. Or is that true or not? Get time. No. We need seconds to point. Seconds to point is going to be equal to percent across times what? What goes here?
Times. Total seconds across.
Good job. Look at you figure that out. That was not easy. Okay, good job. So seconds to point is there, right? Now, our time then should be, this is a little tricky. I kind of want to challenge you and give you this. How's your brain right now? Are you like me? A lot of times where I'm just like barely treading water while the dog's like trying to stand on my head?
I'll try.
You want to try for it? Okay.
Yeah.
So we know how many seconds across to that point.
Yeah. Seconds to that point.
We need to basically have, the result is going to be whatever time it is on the left, plus, so it's my left time, which I'm going to do question marks since we're not sure what that is yet, plus something else.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, the time right here is going to be the time at the left plus something.
Wait, the time at the left of what?
Of the chart, whatever the left leftmost time is.
Plus whatever the mouse position is. Wherever the mouse is.
Yeah, it's not mouse position. Because we need
No,
a
it isn't
result in
mouse
time.
position. It isn't mouse position, it's where the mouse is in terms of time. Which would be... Okay.
Start is the start time.
Yeah.
That we wrote that last week. It's
Yes.
the start time.
So we want start plus wherever the dot is, or wherever the mouse is. I'm not sure what we're trying to do here.
We're trying to calculate the time. What goes in here?
But the time of what? Of where the mouse is, or of where the closest
Where
dot to the
well,
mouse?
it doesn't. There's no mouse here. There's just an X that's been passed in.
Which is where the mouse is, right?
Yeah. Well, probably when we call it, but it could be something else. I could just pass in like 500 and want to know what the time is there. So I could pass in 0.
Yeah.
If I pass in 0, I should just return start. And if I pass in the full width,
Plus
chart
X.
width, percent across should be 1, which means seconds to point should be total seconds across. So that should mean start plus total seconds across should get me to the end. All right, yeah, I confess, it's a little tricky to see. I need to pass something in here though, in from seconds. So to get that time I need, it's the start plus the distance across in seconds.
Yeah.
Which is what?
Total seconds across.
No. That would get me the far
Right.
side. I want to get just the seconds to this point.
Okay. Oh, wait. Is it an expression?
It's
Or
just
is it just
that.
one thing?
It's
Oh,
just
one
seconds to
thing?
point. That's what should get us the time, if our logic is correct. Okay, now we have that. So now we have get time in here. Where were we, Campbell? I totally forget what we were doing. Oh, we're drawing the, we're adding the, in the dashed line.
We already did that.
We're putting
Oh,
something
but that's
in
where
there.
we are, yeah.
Are we calling this from anywhere? We are. So we're going to get rid of this here. We're going to instead go into chart translator. Dot. We're going to call get time. Okay,
Yes.
now we've got the time. Now we're putting that in the time text block, and we have to do one more thing so we can see this. What is the thing we forgot to do with our line down below that we need to remember to do with this time text block to see it inside of CVS adornments?
I'm not sure.
What if
Wait,
I give you
Sorry, can you say
a
that
clue?
again?
Yeah, what do we need to do that we forgot to do with line in order to see this on the canvas, the CVS adornments canvas?
Oh!
I'll give you a clue if you want.
Right.
You want a clue?
No. We have to add it to the children, right?
Yeah. My clue I was going to give you is 2 to the 8.
Uh-huh.
What's 2 to the 8?
It's 2 times 2 times 2. It's 2 times 2 8 times, which is...
You know what it is? Hit that
Not
calculator
off the top of
button
my
on
head.
the keyboard. Bring up that calculator. Bring it up over here. 2yx8.
2 xy.
xy8. 256. What's on line 256 of the code?
It's the children. We add the children.
There you go.
We add the line to the CVS adornments children.
We do that right there. So we're going to add time text block to the shell
this
adornments.
time. It's
Let's
that.
run it and see what happens. Oh, we're not setting its x and y. It's just up here on the left. See it? Let's fix that.
Still cool.
It's still cool.
We got
but
it working.
Let's make it cooler. Let's get it right up in the right spot. So we're going to say canvas dot set left position dot x.
Yeah.
Let's run it. Oh, I am running it apparently. Let's set a breakpoint. Oh, it's not right here. It is. You need to pass in. See that?
Yeah.
Right there? I've got to pass in the element first, and then the position. Okay, that's my set left. All right, run that now, and move the mouse around. We should see it follow the line. There you go. Isn't that cool? Now we know what time it is. Is it working? Is it moving? It is moving.
But it's not changing.
It's not
because
showing you the
it's the
fractions of a second.
Yeah. But it is changing by second.
Yeah.
So we can get... Yeah.
All right, let me show you something that you can do. In our two-string call, we can pass it a date format string. I think, for example, MMM is the month.
We don't...
See, January.
We can't run it for
June.
that long. No.
June, sorry, it's June. So MMM, DD, YYY. Y.
Which is month, day, year.
Yeah. Then I want to do
Shouldn't it be day, month,
hours, minutes, seconds, and then I think fractions of seconds, like that. I think we can do that. Let's run that and see what that looks like.
Shouldn't it be day, month, year?
You do whatever you want.
Okay. But I guess it's
Now look
January
at the
1st,
fractions.
2021, January.
Look what's happening. See it?
Uh-huh.
We know exactly where we are. Okay, so yeah, let's make it day, month, year. You like that better?
Mm-hmm.
I like it better too. It's disambiguates and it's closer to what they do in Europe. Okay? Cool? Now we've got this thing that shows us, is it too close to the line? I think it's too close to the line.
Yeah. think we should move it just a bit.
Just over by a couple pixels. You want to make that change?
Yeah. Stop running. Okay. Where is it?
It's down in that dash line. You scroll it down. It's right there.
Right. Ah. Huh? Just here.
I'll give you a clue. It's 5 cubed times 2. You're like, Dad, seriously? Your clue is 5 cubed times 2.
There it is.
Oh, you're fast.
Well, I know 5 cubed by heart.
Oh, you
So
do?
just wanted to learn it. Position.x. It's this plus. Probably like 5.
Try it. Save and run.
Control S. Yeah, that's okay. I
Good.
like that.
All right, so in terms of visualization, we got close. We are actually moving some data in response to the mouse, right? Go ahead and
Yes.
go ahead and move that around a little bit, and you can see that. It's very cool. You put that up full screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, the positioning is good. The 5 pixels across. All right, tomorrow, what are we gonna do, buddy?
Well, we should probably get it buying and selling.
You really want to buy and sell tomorrow?
Well, figure out when we want to buy.
Let's
it.
get data visualization nailed. I want to get it so that we are showing as we.
Oh, we also need to show the data of the point that we're closest to.
I want to show the hint. Let's do this for tomorrow. Goals for tomorrow. Get the hint really close, like close to the dot. Okay, so it shows that data. Let's also chart moving averages, small and long moving averages.
Yes.
And even would be cool crossover points. Being able to detect those, because that's like a simple buy sell indicator.
Yeah, that our code should be able to do.
Yeah. Let's get to the point where we're at least just charting stuff.
Okay.
And then I think before we actually buy and sell, what I'd really like to do is do simulated buys and sells. So we can say we're buying at this, selling at this.
Oh, so there's no risk involved in it.
Right, no risk, but we track.
But so we can see, like, would this actually make money?
Right.
Or did it make any mistakes?
Right,
Yeah.
and then we just have it run for a long time. We also add code to make it so that if it's been running for a long time, it gets rid of data more than like whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to compute the averages.
Probably like
Yeah.
20 minutes ago.
20 minutes or 5 days or something.
It can't run for 5 days.
Why not?
Because it crashes. Oh no, but we're getting rid of a lot of
We're gonna
things
fix
now.
it so it can run for a long time too.
Right.
Yes.
But we ran it for like 45 minutes and it stopped working before we got rid of all of the dots. So I wonder how long it will take to crash this now. Now that we're getting rid of
we kind of have a
dots.
sense that around 4,000 dots, it doesn't like it.
Mm.
So, we know that. We can add more code that says, hey, do we have 4,000 dots? Let's start getting rid of stuff. Right? We can go and we can make decisions on what's old, bad data we don't need. We could, for example, say, well, look, if it go review older data and get rid of more older data and really keep all the fresh new data is an example of what we could do. But I think it's pretty good, right? It's like I feel like this chart's pretty readable. It gives me the sense of what's happening, the ups and downs. It's not showing us one of our goals for today that we didn't do. It's not showing us
What the value of it.
It's not showing us the relative value of where this is compared to the entire height of the chart.
Yes. Do you think we could do this really quickly? Where when the line approaches like where this here, when it gets past that point, it flips it so that the time is on the other side.
Oh yeah, totally. We can do that totally quickly. Yes, we can do that. So when it gets to the right of center,
yeah, it just
puts it on the left.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Let's do that. Okay.
And then vice versa.
What'd you say?
And then also vice versa, so that when it gets.
I'm just not hearing anything. Oh, look who's here! Mr. Syracuse says Campbell is smart. Nobody ever says I'm smart, Campbell. Everybody says, get that guy out of here. That's what they say to me. Get that guy out of here. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, Campbell, let's look at that.
So when it's on the left of the center,
yeah, we want to
flip
put
it to the
that
right.
text up at the top there over on the other side.
Yeah.
I think we can do that quickly. So that's going to be in this space here. And I think what we need to do is we need to say if position dot x is greater than chart translator dot, don't I have a total width or something like this? I think I do, it just may be not, it just may be private. Chart width in pixels. Where is that thing? It's private. So let's make it public. I'm going to stop the app. So we're going to make both of this. I need chart width in pixels is what I need. So all right, add dash line. Okay, so if it's greater than chart width in pixels divided by 2, then we want to kind of right align it. Right align this. Otherwise, we're going to keep going with the left align right there.
Yeah.
Like that. So, in terms of our left position, it's going to be this position X minus, I think, I'm not sure if this is going to work, Campbell, but I'm going to try it. Actual width. I'm not sure if this is going to be have a value if we haven't shown it yet. You might have to actually add it. If it doesn't work, there's a chance that might make it work. By adding it first, it might go through the process of calculating its width. If that doesn't work, we're going to have to figure something else out. Yeah, and there's probably a smarter, faster way, but I can't figure it out. Let's just try this. I have a feeling this is going to, let's set a breakpoint here actually, and run it. Get some data, wait for some data to come in. I need just enough for a line. All right, now let's trigger it. What's actual width? It's 0. That's not going to work. Is there a measure text call? Feeling like, what's measure? Updates desired size of the element. What if we call this first, passing something big? Let's give it 1,000 by 1,000. And let's just see if actual width changes. I'm not sure if it will. I think there's more involved with the measuring. It's actual width now. Still nothing. Nope. I feel like there's measured somewhere. Hold on a second. Let's look at this. WPF get width text block measure. Put the word measure as well. Measure string. Fine. Let's do measure string. And we're going to pass in the text block. We're going to call measure string. Pass in the text. So this string right here turns it into the, whatever we're going to display.
Yeah.
I'm going to call measure string right there. And then we're going to come in here. And we're going to use size.width. Like that, right there. Then we need on measure string, why don't I just pass this in instead? A text block. All right, text block's coming in. Then I can use that there, there, there. So I'm just taking this copied code and I'm making it so it works now. Culture info, we need to use, get that in there. And this is going to be this dot text right there. Good. Okay, measure string. That should give us the correct size. Let's kill it and restart it. See if now it works. And we got an actual width showing up there. So let's try it. Let's see how it works. We just got to subtract like 5 from it. See it?
Yeah.
Why don't you do that? Make that change. Good. Save and run.
It's already running.
If it's running, then you need to set a breakpoint so that it'll compile your code change. Then run. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted, right?
Yeah. It's nice.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let's start a raid up here. What do we got? C# Fritz looks like he's not started yet. Who else is out there? Oh, bother? White Panther? Send you over to White Panther. All right, kids, have fun. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow, right, Campbell?
Yes.
We'll be back tomorrow. Working on this more. Improving the situation. Can you check in the code?
Yes.
See you, Retro CRT. See you, Surly. Take care, everybody.